Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. This video is about something very important to me. This video is about the color blue. I mentioned this in a previous video that I wanted to prove to you, well, not really prove because that implies that there's like an argument, to reveal the truth to you. That blue is the best color ever. And no one can or should argue with me. So without further ado, let's get started. So one of the first things that I think about when I think of the color blue, think about clean things. Think about like Windex, bleach, just like cleaning products in general. Like the word cleanliness. What do you think of? You think of the color blue. And why? Because blue is just a sleek and clean and nice color. Okay, so there's number one. Number two is when you think of the sea, the ocean, water, what do you think of? Blue, which is interesting because in a lot of instances water isn't blue or anything. It's just clear, nothing. It just, why do we think of blue? Because blue is amazing. And blue again is cleanliness, but it's also revitalizing. In the psychology of blue, psychologists have been informed that when people think of the color blue or blues around them, it like calms you down to a certain extent. And it's a revitalizing color. And its connection to water, blue might as well be the color of salvation. It's amazing. So let's go on. And now think about the sky. Something that brings people so much joy every day, whether it be a clear sky, whether it be a little bit cloudy. What color is it on the average, when you think of the sky, what color is it? It's blue. Wow, amazing. Brings so much joy to people. Now on more of a personal note, my pencil pouch named Steve. Now why is he named Steve? I don't know, I was literally a 9th grader, but look at him. He's so useful. He opens up like this. And he has teeth on, he has all this stuff. He's blue. He's cool. And his name's Steve. Great example of an amazing thing that is blue. Also in terms of psychology, when businesses are trying to choose colors for their brands and stuff, a lot of them choose between blue and red. And we'll talk about red a little bit later, but blue, the reason why businesses think about blue is because it's a dependable color. It's a stable color. When you look at blue, you think about stability. You think about reliability. When you see something that's blue, you're like, yep, that'll work. Let me return to the reason why I made this video. The number one reason why I think that blue is the most amazing color ever. Think of an ugly shade of blue. And not a color with blue in it that's ugly. No. Because there are plenty of greens and oranges that have blue mixed in it. Or other colors that have blue mixed in it that happen to be ugly. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about colors that are primarily, at their base, at their core, are blue and are ugly. You can't. Because the spectrum of blue, they're all nice to look at. And there's never a blue that you look at and you're like, Which is the case for a lot of colors, which I'll mention in a moment. I'm pretty sure I've proven to you that blue is at least a good color. But now let's talk about all the other colors so I can prove to you why all of the other colors are hot garbage and blue is the only superior color. So let's talk about pink for a second. So no offense to Joanna Cedia or, Jenna Marbles and Julian Solomita who created this lovely shirt. But there are some problems with pink. Of course, pink is a nice, happy color that invokes excitement. And for a lot of young girls and, older women as well, it's a nice, excitable color. However, there are some things that are pink that, like, the shade just doesn't... I'm thinking about Pepto-Bismol. Okay, Pepto-Bismol, that shade, like, it's a lot. It's just, you look at it and you can't help but notice it, but not in a good way. So that's the story on pink. Now let's move on to red. Now, like I said before, red is one of those colors that companies like to choose between for the color of their brand. Think about Target, Gryffindor, Redbox, stuff like that. You know, you think about the color red and you're like, oh yeah, I can roll with these guys. However, red is also really closely associated with like violence and blood and gore and like generally harsh behavior and, or not harsh behavior, rash behavior. And like, I don't know about you, but I would rather associate myself with like cool, calm, collected, Ravenclaw, even though I am a Gryffindor actually. Ravenclaw type, let's sit down, let's just talk about this instead of rage, we need to do something about this right now, which is more of what we think of when we think of red. Now orange, the color of sunsets, the color of pencils, yeah, that's not, it's the color of sunsets, which is nice, but something that is the color of orange that isn't great is traffic cones. It's like, it's another one of those colors that you can't help but notice, but not in a good way. It's just like kind of assaults your eyeballs. It brings your attention and it just doesn't let go. And it's kind of a similar story with the color yellow. What do you think of when you think of the color yellow? The sun, which is great, you know, it like gives you vitamins and stuff, and it like helps the plants and things, and like, you know, weather's nice when the sun is out, you know. But if you stare directly at it, it's just like, ow, that hurts. And like, it's the same story with a lot of shades of yellow. Yeah, there's some tank tops worn traditionally in the summertime that are really nice and fun, but also like, owie, you know. And then we get to green. Now green, that's one of those colors that brings a little bit of competition. It's the color of the forest, it's the color of the, you know, Mother Earth, along with brown, but mostly green. You know, reduce, reuse, and recycle, it's great. Until you start thinking about things like, vomit, and farts and things. Yeah, green's really awesome until it's just like, not. Kind of like Geminis, which I am a Gemini. Geminis are really awesome until they're like really not, you know. Yeah. And then blue, which is the reigning champion. We honestly don't even really need to have the rest of this conversation, but let's keep going because purple is the next color. And purple honestly brings the most competition, which should also be a point towards blue because purple is the closest color that there is to blue. Okay? And the reason being is because, you know, there are a lot of really nice shades of purple, but then when you get to the lighter colors, it just kind of screams Gap Kids sweatshirts, which, no offense to Gap Kids sweatshirts, it's just like, at a certain age, you just kind of have to stop wearing Gap Kids sweatshirts, you know what I'm saying? Whereas blue, even the lighter colors don't just scream immaturity in kindergarten, you know what I'm saying? So purple's great, but still no match for blue. And now that I've done the whole Roy G. Biv shenanigans, I would like to address white, brown, and black. Now, white is traditionally the color of innocence and, you know, nice things. It's kind of like light, goodness, whatever. And for people who have that stance, I have one thing to say to that. Anyway, we can go to brown. And again, I only have one thing to say to that because it's the color of... Why'd you bleep me out? I said... Okay. This is a PG channel, so you know that I'm saying... Okay, anyway. Now, our final color, black. Now, black is a wonderful color. Sophia Nygaard will agree with me on this one because she pretty much only wears black unless it's for a video. Because black is a cool color. It's neat. It's sleek. It's, you know, it adds a sophistication to any color palette that you would like. But then it also is very closely associated with like death and darkness and sadness and loneliness and pretty much nothing else. And you know, going back to blue, there is a saying of feeling blue, like feeling sad. And, you know, when you think of feeling blue, you more think of like dark shades of blue that are more similar to black. Whereas then you get to the more lighter shades of blue and it's like, oh, springtime, yay, happiness. Whereas with black, it's just all darkness and despair and there's no joy at all. Whereas blue, there's kind of like a range of emotion. You can be a balanced person when you're a blue person. You don't have to be all dark and despair like black, but you also don't have to be all sunshiny and rainbows and, oh my goodness, suffocation like pink and yellow. So yeah, that's about it. Blue's the best color. It just is. Like, I don't understand people who are like, oh yeah, what's your favorite color? And I'm like, blue. Obviously, because it's just a fact, you know, scientifically, logically, objectively speaking. Thank you. Yeah, the video's not over. Just because I wanted to thank everybody who gave me this overwhelming support with the whole 100 subs for 100 subs. It was really fun to make, and I really hope that we're able to make more things like this. So, yeah, just kind of overwhelmed by support and happiness. Happy blue feelings. So yeah, thank you.